Hi there, Robin here. In today's video, we are going to be talking about some line arrays, different models. So we're going to be talking about the Electro-Voice Evolve, the main difference between 30 to 50, and also, let's say, the Harbinger MLS-900 and their new 1000s. What are the differences? Who compares to what's going on? We're not going to bring up too many of the other brands just because those right now seem to be the real popular one. Of course, there's Bose and there's JBL line arrays. When we actually talk about the differences between the arrays, I'll bring those up then. But for now, that's it. We're just going to compare those two real quickly and give you a good idea. Just to give you a heads up, after this video, I am picking up at the warehouse a TS315 alto speaker along with Electro-Voice ZLX12BT to use as a comparison against the actual MLS1000 line array, and then I'll be working on that video. We're also going to bring back the LD Systems ICOA line, the 15-inch that we have, and we're going to be using that in the comparison as well. This way you get the whole jackpot of speakers. You're going to get to see what a standard two-way speaker is compared to a line array, and also how the actual ICOA coaxial speaker lines up against all that as well. That's coming up on the next video. But for now, so first let's take a look at the Electro-Voice Evolve-30. Now this is a very nice piece of hardware. It's priced a little bit more than what you would find in models that are, we'll call traditional, more analog setups. This is a very digital based system. It's like having a digital mixer inside a speaker. And because of that, you're going to pay a little bit more for it, but you are definitely going to get some nice features out of it. If you don't want to bring a mixing board and you want to hook up a 3-piece band to it, or you've got lots of gear you need to connect to your speaker, the Evolve-30 is definitely going to do that. Now, they also took advantage of trimming back. They didn't want the price to be more than the Evolve-50. That's really what's going on there. That's why they came out with the Evolve-50, which was great sounding, huge power. Then they came back and came out with the Evolve-30M. Then they came out with an Evolve-50M, which is basically, well, the big kahuna, the big powerhouse they have with all the features that you have on the 30. So combining the two together. But let's stick with the Evolve-30. Power-wise, you're pretty much going to line up again with the new Harbinger MLS1000. So yes, you're paying half as much, but you're not going to get that digital mixing board in it. And again, that's very important. And this is nothing to poo-poo on Electro-Voice, but if you want to sell things for more money, you got to throw it in on the digital side. Because the speakers, companies can build good speakers at good price points. They don't have to be ridiculous price points. So that being said, if you want to achieve a higher price point, and that's very important, because when you look at a digital circuit board, once you've put the research and development into it, you've thrown your engineers on it, your designers, you've gotten all that taken care of. All you have to do after that is manufacture it, bang it out, one after another, and you can manage the cost at that point, and you can reap the rewards in a much higher price point. So for big companies like the Bose, the Electro-Voices, the JBLs of the industry, and plus there's other brands, of course, they'll put a lot of time and effort into that portion of the actual engineering because they know they can put a product out that's going to be out there for 3 to 5 years and reap the rewards through that higher price point. Now, it doesn't mean that it's, an overpriced speaker. It's absolutely worth what they're selling it for, and that's very important. You just have to look at it and say, are those the features I'd like to have on my speaker? Do I want to have all those digital functions? Am I the type of person that likes to tweak things on the fly? And do I want to do that via a knob, or do I want to do that on a tablet? Those are the differences. But again, if you do still need to use a mixer, or you prefer to have an analog mixer next to you, or you don't need a mixer at all, then you can certainly look down some of the other avenues. Now, originally you had the MLS-900 as the standalone product, but again, limited on the overall number of inputs and functionality of the unit. But good for price. That was important. And it was very reliable. So if you're going to play small gigs at private shows or at small bars and pubs, it worked out to be a really good speaker. And it still is. If you want to double down on that, you can certainly do that and then expand your actual bass that you can play to. So now you can get into bigger bars. When you move into the MLS-1000, a couple of things you got to think of right off the hop. One, This is a bigger actual bass driver on it. That subwoofer is now 10 inches instead of 8, which is different from the average ones that you see in that price point. And also they've pushed up the power overall on the actual system. So that's another positive piece to it. So again, you can play that in a bar, pub, or restaurant without any problems. Now, if you're going to be playing an evening show and it's going to be really busy and there's more than just the people dining, then you get two of them. You add two of them. They've got a smart connection that hooks up both of them real quick and easy. One XLR cable makes it happen. Other brands are doing that too as well, but that's really what the idea is I want one function, one button, one feature, easy. The other one just does what it's supposed to do. I don't have to tweak, adjust, balance, do any of that. It just happens. And that's a big important feature when you're looking at a speaker like that. When you compare the two of them, and this is where we'll throw JBL's name into the hat and Bose's name. I made a comment on one of the videos where I said, I look at the actual Harbinger as a line array because the idea of how the speakers work, they're not just trying to control sound vertically. They're throwing sound vertically and horizontally at different angles. So the Bose, which is designed that way, the Harbinger is designed that way. And you know, we'll even add the Gemini for a really good price point is designed that way, where the speakers are offset, not just to the left and right, but vertically up and horizontally down. They cover the whole gamut with those things. Now, the other side of the coin, then you get into column array, where they're really controlling the horizontal on it. All their speakers are lined up vertically. They do peel off vertically a little higher and a little lower at the bottom, and that's to cover the large spectrum. But I don't find necessarily that's what I want if I'm playing in a crowded space where there's lots of people to the left, right, front, and back. If you're playing in a restaurant where, you know, you've got table sittings way back, 75 feet away from you, you're going to want to have a steady sound that covers everybody. You don't want to kill the people next to you just because they've got a table close to you with so much volume that it's uncomfortable. That's going to be the difference. You can actually hear it if you're in a smaller space, less so if you're in a larger space. So definitely, if you've got a regular ceiling height to work with, again, restaurants, bars, pubs, that sort of thing, where it's not a hall, it's not a club, it's not one of these places with a 20-foot ceiling in it, then you're definitely going to hear the separation of sound and the dispersion of sound. So from front to back, much more evenly on models like Harbingers and Bose. And again, it all comes down to the design of the actual array on top, because they're all arrays. Array just means an alignment of something, organize something in an array. That's all array. Array is an actual word. It means to place like a satellite array or, a Death Star array. It's, it's organizing things in a configuration that works together. That's what an array means. Outside of that, boy, oh boy, does it get really confusing when you actually, column array, line array, ooh. There is an actual definition to them, but then when you start reading the specifications that the manufacturers put out, you kind of have a hard time understanding what they're trying to sell you. So either one is good. You'll probably like one more than the other, depending on the type of music you play and where you like to play your music. So I did add a subwoofer in one of the videos to the actual system, and that again was on the MLS1000 because we just got a set of those in. Now, do you need a subwoofer with it? No, if you're playing in a small space, probably not. If you're going to, doing a private house party, backyard party, you're probably okay. But if you like to play extra bass above and beyond regular good bass, you want to drop it hard, add a subwoofer. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's why it's there. Even with, you buy a good set of top speakers just on their own. I always say if you're a DJ and you're not using some sort of subwoofer, you're not giving all that you can give when it comes to music. Now, of course, you're just playing like, soft stuff. No. I'm talking about, if you're going to play dance music and you want to impress people beyond what they would normally hear in their earbuds or their headphones, you're going to need a subwoofer to put on that show. That's just my opinion. So just to recap, overall power, I'm going to put the MLS1000 against the Evolve-30M for power overall. I think they do a real close job. One's probably 10% louder depending on the environment. The speakers are configured differently. They're more set up in a column on the Evolve, and of course, they're more set up like an array on the actual Harbinger. You still get a mixing board option on the actual Harbinger, and of course, with the Evolve-30M, that's the whole cell feature, is that digital mixing board. So you're going to get more optional controls with the Evolve. But again, price point. You can buy two of the Harbingers or you can buy one of the Evolves. So there you go, if that wasn't confusing enough, right? So remember, if you want to know anything more like pricing on the products we're talking about, of course, that's all going to be in the links down below. They are going to be bringing you to Guitar Center because that is the most reliable place to get some pricing right now on the products. You do get options between new and used, but of course not on the MLS1000. It's brand spanking new. That being said, if you want to listen to any good comparisons straight up in person, you can also go down to a Guitar Center near you. So remember, line arrays are absolutely fun to have because they don't weigh a lot. That's what I like about them. And they do a really good job at throwing sound around. So you'll see on the next video where that's pretty much what I'm talking about, is how the sound is going to get distributed and what the differences are going to be between having traditional standard speakers and having line arrays. So there you go. I hope this video helped you out today with some ideas in your head of which way you want to go for a speaker. So this question was asked to me today by Derek. So I just like to say thank you, Derek, for asking the question. This is how I get ideas, especially for the Q&As. So thank you, Derek. Maybe I'll see you in the next video. Like to say thanks for watching. Bye for now.